Hey everybody, Sean here. Happy Halloween. You think at some point I would learn how to do this? Before the show starts, I just got we've got a couple announcements and one really super huge, important, awesome one. The super huge, important, awesome one is, you knew we were going to be in Chicago the 17th. You knew we were going to be in Chicago the 18th at Days of the Dead Con over in Schaumburg, Illinois. But the bigger news is on the 18th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we will be at Deadbolt, the bar in Chicago, in the heart of Chicago, Logan Square. We'll be there doing a live show. It's free. There's no cover. There's no tickets. Show up, say hi, drink some stuff, liquor, and come and watch us, man. We're so fucking excited. Joe will be there. Joe is coming. So, sorry, Salem. Chicago's getting Joe. Chicago's getting Joey'd. So, yeah. And then, the other announcements. HelloFresh. Gotta thank them. Awesome sponsors. HelloFresh.com and use the promo code HorrorShow30. By the way, I'm recording this in my car in Salem at my hotel parking lot at 11 o'clock at night. And some family is like walking by, looking at me screaming in my car. Whatever. So wait, what did I say? So our sponsors, HelloFresh.com. Use the promo code HorrorShow30, get $30 off that first week of deliveries. Thank you so much, HelloFresh, for the sponsorship. We really appreciate it. I also want to thank our sponsors with all of our heart, because these are you guys. You guys are paying your hard-earned money to our Patreon.com/IHateHorror donors. Daisy Isabel. Daisy, who I met at Salem. Thank you so much, Daisy. Appreciate it. You're great. Bobby Bovenzi and D. Mitchell. Bobby Bovenzi and D. Mitchell, I'm sure they're also equally as great, but I talked to Daisy. Man. Maybe I've talked to Bob and D. I don't know. Don't know. Do you know? Well, that's it, guys. I gotta get inside before I get fucking arrested. So, happy Halloween. Yeah, happy Halloween. And, you know how we do. We're out there. Happy Halloween. We're doing a Madea Halloween this week. Super excited. Not the movie I was expecting at all. But I will be in line to see Madea 2 this week. So get your ass out there. Come see us in Chicago. I guess don't come see me at the movies. I go to the movies alone for a reason. All right. Jesus Christ. Okay, we got another family coming from behind. So, you know what? I really need to get out of this fucking car because people are really looking at me weird. So, guys, enjoy this episode. Happy Halloween. Have the happiest of Halloweens. And we'll see you next week. Enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not-so-favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Boo! A Madea Halloween. 2016. So, what made us choose this? What made you choose this? You chose it.
I don't know.
We needed a Halloween movie.
Don't put that shit on me.
I mean, listen.
This is a private conversation.
You said it, and I was all in.
No, I thought of it because I saw the trailer for the second one, and I remember that our plan was to trick Paul into going to see something, but really buying tickets to Medea's Halloween.
Which honestly now I regret, because now I love this movie. I thought this movie was so funny.
Okay.
You didn't like it?
Not love it. I mean,
I thought it was great.
well, here's the thing about Madea. I had never seen a Madea film. And
neither have I.
The fact that I did not hate this movie caught me by surprise.
Yes.
Because it's not a good movie.
No.
And I would never be in a hurry to sit down and watch it again. But I didn't hate it. And I thought I would hate it.
Now, another thing I just want to talk about before we start. Tyler Perry makes shitloads of money through this Madea franchise. Was Madea started off as a TV show, I believe? Do you remember? I thought there was like a TV show where she was a character, and that's how this whole thing started.
Tyler Perry definitely had TV shows like...
Yeah. I forget what it was. Something, a house? Is that...
House of Pain?
House of Perry?
House of Perry?
I don't know. House of Pain?
Well, I'll just look this up.
So he's got this Madea character, and me and Joe were looking at some of the figures last night, and you're talking about movies that make $100 million off of a $17 million budget. These movies are insane. And as of this recording, actually, last night they did the preview screenings for Boo 2, a Madea Halloween. And in one night showing, in a very limited run of theaters, just the preview, just because it hasn't been released yet, $760,000.
Yes.
Which puts it on pace. Most movies that make that do hit that like near 100 million mark. And that's insane.
Yes.
That's fucking insane. I don't even, props to him.
So there is, it's House of Pain, Meet the Browns, Love Thy Neighbor, are the 3 TV shows. She has made appearances in all 3.
Oh, really?
But her first appearance is in a stage play called I Can Do Bad All By Myself.
Yes.
And then the first film appearance, which was before the TV shows, was Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yes. Okay. I do actually remember all of that now. Yeah. He did like stage stuff. Now, Tyler Perry, I guess we should just talk about it now. He is, in my opinion, not funny and a bad actor.
The acting in this movie is
the worst acting I've ever seen.
Yes.
Straight up, the worst acting I've ever seen. And Tyler Perry playing himself he plays Madea and these other characters flawlessly.
Yes, playing the dad is so bad.
Playing the dad is you think it's bad?
No.
Oh.
Like the girl's dad.
Yeah.
Not
Medea.
Medea.
Yes,
not,
yes.
not the dad's dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, he plays his like outlandish characters with makeup because he plays multiple parts. We should know.
So it's basically the Clumps.
Yes.
Which I was gonna say minus the funny parts, but the Clumps aren't funny.
I mean, they were though.
The Clumps?
Yeah.
You like the Clumps?
I mean, in the first movie, in Dr. What is it, Dr. Doolittle?
No, the Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all right.
I disagree.
I don't know. I haven't seen it since I was a
Fart,
kid.
which I guess is funny.
Yeah, dude,
I take it off.
That's
back.
like way
I take it off.
up your. They just shit their pants at the dinner table and be like, woo!
You're 100% right. Clumps are hilarious.
But he plays these multiple characters, like you said. It's a lot like the Clumps. Like it's Tyler Perry in makeup, silly makeup. His characters are all right. They're not bad. But Tyler Perry, literally playing himself, just a dad, is the worst actor I've ever, cannot speak.
No. Like, I want to say that every line is ad-libbed, but it can't be.
No.
They just can't talk to each other.
The way he talks is insane. He cannot speak words in this movie. And it's almost to the point where you're like, is this part of the character? Because it's weird that you can act as these insane characters, but as soon as you're a normal person, you're just like, well, honey, I think that
that's good.
You're wrong here, and you want to say it's the character, but it's not. It's terrible acting.
No, because and the other characters,
the other actors are
abysmal.
I've never seen worse acting.
I hope they never get work again.
The daughter Tiffany is hands down the worst actress I've ever seen in my life. Straight up, she literally shows no emotion in this film to the point where I didn't know whether I was supposed to feel bad for her or not. She sees her friend get murdered and she's like, oh man.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, not really, but also, let's put this out there.
Madea has a Wikipedia page of her background. And like,
As a character.
Like the character of Madea. It was talking about like the books that she wrote. Like when she got arrested for petty crime at the age of 9. It's the most detailed. I've seen less details on like real people.
Tyler Perry definitely wrote it. It's an interesting film. So it's called Boo! A Madea Halloween. The trailer sets it up to look like they took Madea and they threw her in a horror movie.
That's what I was hoping to.
Right? So she's battling all these like forces from a horror movie. Right. And you're like, all right, I'm kind of in on that. Like that's, I don't even know Madea. Like even like with Joe, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this movie. Not for any other reason than I don't know what a Madea movie is. I don't know what we're going to watch. And I still didn't, even after watching the trailer. And I was like, I want to watch that. It was not that at all. It was not even a Halloween movie, I would say.
No,
dude,
if you throw that on Halloween on like a network TV, I can see people watching it.
I bet you Boo 2 is what we're expecting based on the trailer. Although it's the same trailer.
It's the same thing as first.
It is, but it's all the same cast, which means they're gonna blow you away with their acting. But like, there's a girl on the road that looks like the Ring girl,
right?
So I think the ghosts are legit. And we know that there's a killer. The second one is a slasher.
There's no way that's any of this.
There's a slasher.
I don't believe it.
You're right. Because if you showed me this trailer, I'd be like, Joe, I saw a scene with zombies.
Zombies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's funny. So I don't know if you want to watch this. What a Halloween episode of the horror show. By the way, happy Halloween. We should say that.
Yeah, happy. Oh, hold on. I'm going to read you. You know what? You're right. Because this is the plot for Madea 2. Or Boo 2. Whatever. Madea, Bam, Viv, and Hattie take a vacation to a campground with their family members, unaware that the grounds are haunted. When monsters, goblins, and boogeymen are unleashed, Madea and company must fight it out with them. You're right. I'm on board.
Okay. Yeah, I think they learned their lesson because probably everyone that left Boo Madea was like, what the fuck? What? It was just a weird lesson.
And the poster is Madea just staring up, holding 2 machetes.
There's a bunch of posters. I think one is like a Shining poster too, where her face is coming through. Dude, I've never laughed as hard at a movie that we've done for this show than Madea.
Come on.
I will tell you the joke.
Come on.
Dude, no, dude. I laughed so fucking hard. I'm still laughing thinking about it. I laughed Joe, I have an exercise bike. And I usually ride it when we watch our movies while I'm taking notes and stuff. So I'm like riding it and I'm watching Madea. The beginning I found super unfunny. And there's this scene, we'll talk about it. But I laughed so hard, I fell off the bike. Like literally fell off the bike. I was laughing so hard. And I woke up my wife who was sleeping on the couch and she just like stared at me. And I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing. So dude, it caught me it caught me so off guard. But let's open up this episode. We start with fraternity, which is YO, which is actually Upsilon Theta. Don't know how that comes out of YO, but I don't know anything about fraternity. Fuck fraternity.
Can we?
What?
Get Trick Paul into seeing Boo 2.
Yes, 100%. As long as he doesn't listen to this episode. We can do it beforehand.
Huh?
We could do it before this episode's released.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the time we picked Paul up to go see 28 Weeks Later?
No.
But we bought tickets to see Shrek 3.
How mad was Paul?
Barry is the most crowded theater of all time.
I would probably lose my mind. I fucking hate the Shrek movies so much. This would be up there, I think. I think he might wait in the car.
All right, let's try this.
I think we should.
Let's try it.
We were going to do it with Boo 1.
There's Happy Death Day.
Yep. Oh,
Snowman movie.
which he sent us like a link for
Yes.
some reason.
So we can just say we're going to those.
Which I also heard was
I
like,
really want to see.
which one?
Both of them.
Oh, I heard Snowman is one of the worst movies
Of
into this. I didn't see the trailer. I didn't watch it. Snowman Killer.
The trailer looks like a parody. Like somebody's walking, gets hit with a snowball, and they whip their head around. Nobody's there. I'll see either of those. We'll do a double feature.
That's fine. And we actually get to watch the good one after.
The Madea one?
No, Madea we have to trick him with first.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then we'll watch the real one after.
We'll trick him with the snowman.
And then we'll go see the Snowman after.
Wait, you're saying Snowman's the good one? I'm getting bamboozled here.
No, so we'll say we're going to go see Happy Death Day.
And then we go see Madea.
Then we go see
Then we go
Madea.
see Snowman.
Or Happy Death Day.
No, that's off the table.
All right. The good one's off the table. Typical horror show gig. So, Epsilon Theta. We meet a bunch of jabroni jock boners here. I mean, these guys suck.
They do suck.
And they're awful actors.
Yeah.
There's a blonde guy with long hair. Is he famous?
It can't be.
Okay. I'm only asking that because he looks like a cast member of Sons of Anarchy.
My wife kept saying all those frat guys look familiar.
Oh,
and I don't
really?
think we found any of them.
None of them are famous. The only guy I thought was maybe the guy with the long blonde hair. Because again,
Horse.
why would they cast him in this? It made no sense. He looks like an extra from Sons of Anarchy. And I was like, he must have just come from the set and like done Madea.
No, his first movie ever was this.
Oh my God.
And then he's
How is Tyler Perry casting these? He has.
then he's in Boo too.
And also, this movie cost $17 million. Where did they spend the money if it wasn't casting? Just all going to Madea? Going to Tyler Perry playing 3 parts?
He's got to pay himself, man.
$10
Triple
million,
the work.
$10 million for Tyler Perry and then $7 million for the rest of the cast. Also, here's another fun fact. Madea hangs out with a bunch of friends. Bam, Hattie, and Joe, right?
Yes.
Joe's Medea's brother. And all those people, well, obviously Joe is Tyler Perry, but Bam and Hattie are also in makeup.
Oh, yeah.
They're young.
Hattie's a young person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not believe that. That blew my mind. They look legit in this, although maybe not Hattie so much. Bam looks legit.
Yes.
But Hattie's like one of the weirdest characters I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. What is she supposed to be? What is her reference?
I don't know.
She like can't talk right. Like she can't say words. Like she's trying to say like spooky or something, but she keeps saying shitty. And Medea's like, what is she saying? And I think chili. She's trying to say chili and she keeps going shitty. And Medea's really confused, and Bam's like, she's trying to say chili. I'm like, what is this reference? I don't even understand.
No, I think it's just.
And she holds her hand the whole time. It's like her gimmick, but it doesn't make sense.
No.
It's one of the most weird things I've ever seen.
Did you notice Tito Ortiz show up?
No, how? When?
He's in it.
Where?
He's Victor.
Who's Victor?
I don't know. He just shows.
Joe.
I just know he's in it at some point.
He's not in this.
I'm telling you he's in
That's
it.
fine, but he's not. I don't care. He had to have been at the party.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, that's great. Glad he's got work. Glad he's getting solid extra work.
I met him.
I know you did. So these jabroni jocks, they explain that they have the longest running tradition of throwing the best Halloween parties. They show off their pledges. They're just a bunch of weak ass shit, and none of this comes into play. One thing though that I'll say, Tyler Perry, one of the reasons I've avoided his movies is his weird social commentaries that he makes. He's super anti-female in his movies. He's very much like the female always is taught a lesson in his movies. Do you know that? Are you aware of that?
No.
That's a thing.
Okay.
He in all, because he has like serious movies too, like usually about marriage and things like that. And it's always actually.
So that's like a legit criticism.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly know nothing about.
It's like a message he puts out there all the time. And I was curious, like, how did this get made? Did one of his movies?
Okay.
And they even said in that one, they were like, it's alarming what they do. Like, the girl did nothing wrong, and at the end she's the one that's taught a lesson in it, and they're like, that was weird. Like they gave her like an STD and stuff, and like basically the end of the movie is the guy's like, that's what you get.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Did you think this one had that?
I do. I think with the daughter, which is, I think it was really weird. So basically this whole movie is about a daughter who's a little bit out of control. I wouldn't even say like too out of control, pretty normal out of control for a teenager.
Yeah.
And we find out she's from a divorced family, kind of screwed up situation. She's got some trouble. And in the end, her lesson is taught by not like some like nice reconciliation with Tyler Perry and her, like getting together, but Tyler Perry being like, you know what? I am good. Her criticism is like, you're a pussy, Dad. And the dad's like, fine, then you get the fuck out of my house. And she's like, all right, I don't want to leave. And he's like, all right. And that's it. And it's like, it's weird. Like, why? There's no like, and also, but I was talking to my wife about it too. I couldn't tell if it was that, if it was his weird social commentary, or if it was just the acting was so fucking abysmal.
I would lean. I don't know about the other movies. I didn't pick up that vibe on this. I just thought it was just shitty acting, and it was just. I just thought it was like a father and daughter just trying to
be actors,
get along. Yeah, just trying to.
Because the acting was so bad that she showed no emotion this entire movie.
Right.
So you couldn't tell. Like Tyler Perry's like, I'm going to kick you out of this house, and she's like, I'm sorry. And you're like. Yeah, is she being serious? And she is, but she does not show the motion.
Because the whole time he does, because I didn't pick up the other thing, because the whole time he's like, I don't want to kick her out. But he's like, oh, hell, you got to kick him out.
Yeah. And the other funny thing is, in that scene, the dad's like, no more crying. Crying's not going to work in this house anymore. And it cuts to her and she's not crying.
He didn't cry
once. It was so weird. He's like, no more tears. I'm done with that. You ain't going to cry your way out of this. And it cuts to her and she's like, I'm sorry. That's the straightest face. I've never seen somebody not cry.
That's a great point, because in every scene, she's far from emotional.
Oh, yeah. And and really.
He's closer to tears.
Yeah, he's in tears. I'm pretty sure he's in tears from acting. Like, he's like, I don't want to act. I need the Madea costume. And she is a grade A asshole in this movie, which I also found very odd too, because she's kind of painted as not bad, and then all of a sudden later in the movie she's like, go fuck yourself, old man. It's so bizarre. It's really weird. But let's actually get into this movie. So they have their pledges, which actually doesn't come into play at all. Oh, but one of the reasons I start getting into that weird thing is because one of the hackers is like, yeah, this hacker is the guy that hacked into the girls' webcams and got all those pictures of them and released them online. And one of the guys is like, can we do that again? And he's like, well, yeah, why do you think he's here? And I was like, what the fuck? And there's only one guy in this movie, and it's the guy that he's wearing like a beanie, like on the very top of his head. He looks like a complete asshole. He looks like Naughty by Nature in 2017 though. And he's the guy you would imagine is the biggest, dumbest idiot. And the whole time, he's the only voice of reason. Like every scene, he's like, I fucking hate these guys. It's so weird. Like in that scene, he's just like, come on, man. Like, are you serious? Like,
right.
He's the only one though. Everyone else is like, yeah, dude. And you're just like, this is so fucking weird.
And then they start breakdancing.
Oh yeah, some of the pledges. They're like, oh shit.
It's the most extreme breakdancing I've ever seen. I'd throw you out of my house. If you were doing that while I was living in college.
They were like running up the stairs.
Just leave. Like,
then they see some girls outside, so they're like, this is a good time to sexually harass somebody.
That's exactly what
So they go outside and they just start sexually harassing them. They're like, hey, baby.
Hey, you ever see a dude before?
Hey, that's that all girls college. You ever seen a man? This is what they look like. Very weird. And inviting them up to their rooms, and it's just very, very alarming.
And Tyler Perry shows up.
He does. He's the girl's dad.
So I hated the beginning of this movie. Oh, it's like I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
Because he shows up in his like exchange with these kids again with the acting.
Oh, so
bad. Painful.
Oh yeah.
And the jokes are the most flat things I've ever seen.
To the point where I didn't know if they were jokes.
He's like, hey, kid.
God, I
look
forgot
like
about
Thor.
And then the worst part is the kids react like, oh, no, he did it. And they're like, you want to take that from him?
And then the kid's like, oh yeah?
Oh, yeah? Pops? And Tyler Perry's like, well, who are you calling Pops, you punk. It was so weird. It was so weird.
And then there's like a little brother that's never in the movie again. It's in the front seat. And he's like, oh, you can't let him talk to you like that, Dad.
Yeah, and then he's like, Dad, you can't let him talk to you like that. And he's like, yeah, you're right. He's like, I was an athlete. And then the kid turns on his dad who's like, you didn't play sports. All you did was play tennis. Like, it's a really weird dynamic. Like, it definitely, the writing is rough.
Beyond rough.
And I would say that I bet you he hires people to write some of the jokes for the characters. And I don't know how this works because a lot of the character stuff made me laugh my ass off. But there are scenes that it's very obviously ad-libbing because it looks like it belongs in an outtake because like Bam is laughing in the scene and you're like, are you fucking serious? You left this in? Are you fucking Jimmy Fallon-ing this fucking movie? Because Bam is legitimately laughing in scenes like at Tyler Perry, who's not funny. But he's her boss. Sitting next to you. Imagine your
Jimmy
boss
Fallon
sitting next
doing
to you.
that. That was the fucking worst.
It was the worst. It was the worst.
Every scene.
But imagine you're an actor and your boss is sitting next to you cracking jokes, ad-libbing. Like
just
being
have to
like,
laugh.
we're gonna roll with this. Like like just roll with these jokes. And then you just have to be like, oh, that's so funny. Like what the fuck's this guy doing? Like, oh man. And yeah,
I will give credit. I bet they actually find Tyler Perry funny because it seems like they're friends. And
yeah,
these movies
probably.
probably don't seem like work.
No.
Because there's nobody that's working hard.
No one was working hard at all. Yeah, you're right about that. So Tyler Perry, Tiffany is the daughter. She gets bent out of shape. She refuses a ride with her dad, and they meet at home. Tyler Perry reveals that she's 17, which is also weird because she was like, those frat guys were all in on her. And
well, that's a theme in this movie, too. All the 17-year-old girls about to get laid.
And drunk at a frat house.
Yes.
And he's controlling, but not...
He's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but at the same time, that's the weird thing. Like, again, they just don't have like a clean message with it. Like, okay, so not going to the frat house, totally understandable. Being like, hey, how about you not walk in front of the frat house in your schoolgirl uniform? That's probably the best thing. Agreed. 100%. They're probably not the best thing. Those guys are fucking... They walk out there, they saw you in the lawn, and they just walked out there and started sexually harassing you. Stay away from the house. But then he's like, you can't take off your uniform and change clothes. It's like, all right, relax, Tyler Perry. Like, get the fuck out of here. Right. Although, yeah, whatever. And the girl talks back a lot, so you kind of get that message already. And Tyler Perry just keeps delivering these unfunny flat jokes. So he's like, those boys only want one thing. And then like the son walks in and is like, what's that? This is the last time you see the son ever, by the way. The son walks in and is like, what's that? And he's like, to pay their student loans, go upstairs. So they fool Tyler Perry into they fool Tyler Perry thinking they're going to stay home. They're claiming they're just going to hang out at home and not go to the frat party. And Tyler Perry catches them via iMessage and catches them saying they're going out.
They're going there.
Yeah. And Tyler gets pissed. And the only way he figures he can fix this is by calling up Madea, his aunt, and having her come over to watch the girls. Which, frankly, if Madea was my aunt, I would probably do that also. I'd probably be like, you know what? Come in here.
Would you ever misbehave if Madea was a threat to come hang out?
Madea is the most violent individual. Actually, this whole group is the most violent group of human beings I've ever met. Their take on parenting is alarming. Like, it's crazy. It's weird. And we're about to get a riff of, it was honestly about a half-hour riff on parenting and like throwing kids off roofs and stuff.
Yes.
It was depressing. But Medea's handing out candy with her buddy Bam, another woman in a costume. They have behind them are pumpkins hanging on a wall, which I don't know how they did that, but they've hung up full-size pumpkins. One says, "I love Jesus, I heart Jesus." The other is a weed leaf, and the other one is 420, which I thought was weird. And then you learn more about these characters, and it's so fucking
They're
fun.
always referencing like misdemeanors that they caught.
All their
Whenever the
crimes,
police come, they're like, the popo hide the drugs.
dude, they are terrified of the police, and not like terrified of police because they have warrants out for them. Like, it's referenced multiple times up until the end of the movie where Tyler Perry's like, I know, because you all got charges against you. Like, it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. And her friend Bam just smokes weed the entire movie because she's got a prescription card, and she just gives it out to everyone, even reluctantly, but then just everyone's smoking weed the rest of the movie. And they're giving out candy. And they're making some pretty funny jokes. Like, Medea's like, you know what I had to do to get candy when I was growing up?
I did not like this part. I thought the joke
All right, wait a minute. When so I liked, I had to give out candy to get candy. Or I had to give up candy. She's like, I had to give up my candy to get candy. That made me laugh. But what made me, the ho O-N-K joke.
Oh, stop it.
That I did not like. I did not like that joke.
It makes sense. It doesn't even flow.
And it was, you could tell that was one of his ad libs. Because he's just like,
yeah, and then Bam's laughing at it.
yeah, and he's just like, he's talking and rattling on, and then all of a sudden he's like, I got a ho 1K. It's what I get for being a hoe. It's like a retirement plan. I was like, what is this talking about? But what is funny is Medea's friend Bam, who's high as fuck, as you learn, because she's like, are you high? And she just starts laughing. She is pretending to give kids candy. And
genius move.
Reaching into the bin and grabbing candy and taking more out than she's putting in.
Also, it's the least discreet way.
It would be the hardest thing
The
to do.
next kid that comes, they just rip on him for being fat to his face. Dude. And his mom's standing right there.
All right. And it was so insensitive, these jokes.
It was so bad.
In 2017, I can't believe somebody could get away with ripping on a kid for his size. And I mean, the kid wasn't even that fat. He
No.
was chubby and tall. He was just a big kid. But honestly, some of the jokes made me laugh my fucking ass off. Like, she's calling him Big Papa, and she's like, I love it when you go, just in Bam's ear as Bam's trying to interact with his family. And Medea's like,
She's warning Bam not to steal the candy because the kid's gonna count.
Because she's like, that kid's an OG. He knows. Oh yeah. She's like, he can't do math, but he can count all the pieces of candy in that bin. And she's like, that guy's an OG. She's like, he knows. But he's gonna cut you.
Is that he does count, but the thing that should have tipped it off is when she pulls her hand out, it's just spilling everywhere. And he's just staring at her, and then he goes away and he's like, wait a second.
Dude, Madea calls him Rick Ross at one point. Dude, I laughed my fucking ass off. She's like, uh-oh, Rick Ross gonna find you out. Then she's like, she's like, you about to get stabbed. You about to get stabbed. And sure enough, and then she goes, hey, Big about to shoot you, Tupac. Which doesn't even make sense. No. Big did not shoot Tupac. But it was awesome. I loved it. Oh man. And then they see a clown coming up, and a clown's pushing a giant box, the biggest box of all time. And Madea and Bam are freaking out.
And like, I thought this is where it was going to turn into horror because that clown is approaching so like
menacingly.
Yes.
So it's
like coming through the fog.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy. And they open up, they pop out, the clown pops out of the box, and Madea just fucking whacks her with the purse. And it turns out it's their best friends.
It's her brother.
It's her brother.
The clown's her brother. And she's talking to the clown.
And the brother's girlfriend, which is the girl Hattie that we've discussed. Yeah. And it's them, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, you dressed up as clowns trying to scare me. I've done the same thing.
That's like when Harvey Dent didn't know Joker was the nurse.
Oh my God, that's such a funny thing. Also, DC fans are going to be super pissed at you. Madea gets a call, though. Tyler Perry saying, come on down. Medea's got a million reasons she can't come that she riddles off.
But he offers to pay her.
And then she's like, I'll be there in an hour.
Good bit.
Yeah, it was solid. Madea will do anything for cash. Oh, Madea. Classic Madea. She shows up, but she shows up with the entire gang of friends. And Tyler Perry's like, come on. And Tyler Perry's like, oh, you brought my dad? His dad walks in and just goes, "What up, bitch?"
His dad is by far the best character. in
The
this
funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. His lines, he has lines that we can't say on this show, but please watch the movie just for his lines. I never laughed so hard than some of his lines
It's funny.
that we like. It is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Beyond funny. And it's not just the lines, it's the delivery. The way he
It
pauses.
reminds me of my dad too, because I'd be like, "Dad, you can't swear like in front of these people." And I'd be like, "Okay, bitch ass motherfucker."
Yeah, and shit like that. And it's so, and just staring him in the face. And his deliveries, he's got these amazing pauses. Like at one point, he's like, "Y'all got the prostate cancer," and the girls are like, the women are like, "We don't have like Medea's like, Joe, we don't have prostates." And it cuts to Joe's face, and he's just. This was the scene I fell off the bike, dude. I laughed. I was crying. I'm about to cry again thinking about it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's just staring at Medea, and it seems like it held on it for like 30 seconds, and he's just. I gotta pull up the exact line because I wrote it down. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He goes, "Medea, you know damn well you got a prostate." And I don't even know if the gag is like they reference that Medea's a guy. I don't know if that's like a bit, like, because that's what it seemed like he was doing. And because it cuts to Medea's face, and Medea, who's like such a strong female, is just like, "Whatever, Joe." And I'm like, "What? That's all you have to say to that? You dude just said you had a prostate in the craziest way." Oh my God. "You know damn well you got a prostate." It's so insane. It's such an insane comment. Oh man, it's fucking great. I love this fucking movie. It cracks me up. So Medea and the gang show up. They brought the dad. There's some
People are gonna be so mad about the movies that we've torn apart.
We
You're
love
loving
Medea. Medea's just fucking funny, man. There's some domestic violence jokes that didn't go over great for me. There's a lot of violent jokes in this, so it's just what it is. Tyler tries to interrupt this whole prostate conversation, and every single person starts threatening his life. They're like, "You better shut your mouth." Before we all they all join in together. They were just fighting about prostates, and now they all want to kick Tyler Perry's ass for being a pussy. But Tyler explains the frat parties, and they're all on board to keeping this girl locked down. And this is when they riff on parenting for like, honestly, it seemed like a half hour. Just jokes about spanking kids. A little love tap never hurt no one. And then the weirdest part was when Tyler Perry started joking about Madea putting him on life support.
Yes.
For abusing him so badly that Tyler Perry went on life support. And it was a throwaway joke at first where you're like, "Ooh, that's weird." And then they just got into the details. Like Tyler Perry's like, "Yeah, I remember that. I remember you hitting me so bad I had to go to the hospital." And Medea's like, "Well, at least I drove you there."
It's crazy.
It was weird. Like that stuff was really, really fucking weird. And then Joe starts talking some bullshit. And then they talk about how Joe threw Tyler Perry off the roof of a fucking house. And Tyler Perry's like, "I'm not taking her to the roof and throwing her off."
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. Would you let Madea watch your daughter?
No.
Later in the movie, Hattie tells a girl that she's going to beat her head to the white meat shoes. That's the most violent thing I've ever heard in my life. So the girls, they're upstairs and they decide they're going to trick the old folks into going to bed early. And they do that in the worst way possible by bringing down a Ouija board. And scaring them. I know what'll make them go to sleep, scaring them so they stay awake all night.
They are very scared.
They are.
Honestly, all people are scared of Ouija boards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Parents are even afraid of Ouija boards. Yeah. Like, don't do that shit.
My mom would be furious if I brought home a Ouija.
Really?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom was pretty pissed too, which is weird because they're made by fucking... What's the Parker Brothers? Yeah. It's like fucking made with shitty plastic molds. Come on. Get the fuck out of here.
Anyone that says they're not moving it is a fucking piece of shit liar.
Yeah, I know. I wish I should interview my wife after
poop.
How did it know I pooped today? Yeah, I know. I think my wife claims to have had experienced it with no one moving it. And every time I question her about it, she's like, everyone said they didn't move it. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know how Ouijas work. I know how fucking hypnotizing people works. No one says anything. I'm aware. I'm aware of how it all works. So they bring down the Ouija board. She tells the story about this guy, Mr. Wilson, that died there on Halloween and now kills people. This, again, does not matter at all.
It never goes back into play. That should have been the plot point.
I mean, like, the kids, like, later on, the kids scare... they end up trying to scare the old people by saying Mr. Wilson stuff, but they could have just been pretending to be ghosts or vampires or anything, and it would have had the same effect. This whole Mr. Wilson thing means nothing. Which, again, like, when you see this, like, you and me, we're watching this for the Halloween aspect of it, that we're like, all right, Mr. Wilson's ghost, I like it. Charlie Wilson's war. So they tell her this, and then the girls are like, all right, we're going to bed. And then they just sneak out immediately. And no one's asleep. And their whole plan was
plan was to make them fall asleep so they could sneak out. They could have just left.
Which, by the way, the best plan you do as those kids is be like, all right, we're going to bed. And then just turn off all the lights and wait like 3 hours, and they would have been asleep.
Yes. Yes.
Because Medea immediately goes up to check if they're in bed, and they're not.
Or, as we find out, the girl's like, yeah, I was in a different room.
Oh, yeah.
And Medea's like, oh, yeah, I didn't check there.
I literally did nothing. So the girls sneak out immediately. Medea immediately finds out. She drives her solid gold Cadillac, which is beautiful, to the frat house also. Bam is wearing a costume, which is just a red mask over her face. And they're like, what are you supposed to be dressed up as? She's like, it's Peter Pan.
The shittiest Peter Pan costume.
Just a red, it's like a red Lone Ranger mask. It's so
Peter Pan's never looked like that.
No, that's what dude, that is exactly my note. I've never seen anything that looks less like Peter Pan. Like you
Medea looks more like Peter Pan.
Yeah, just by being Medea. At the frat house, so the whole crew shows up at the frat house. One guy grabs Medea's boobs. Madea beats the shit out of so many people in this movie. She just punches the shit out of people.
But like none of have you ever seen a group of people get punched in the face more and just not be affected?
No blow. Yeah, it's so weird. Like it's so weird. It kind of like takes away from the whole Madea thing.
Like she would like punch the guy in the face. She'd be like, "Whoa, can I still see him?"
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. She punches this guy in the face so hard, and he's like, "So I go see your boobies?"
And so then she lets him.
Yes.
And he's like, wait a second. Why are they so veiny?
Not only does she let them, but she is so fucking proud of her boobs. She's like, check them out.
She used to be a stripper.
She's like, check them out. And they're like, oh, wait, they're so realistic. There's nipples and veins. And they're like, oh my God, they're real gross. And then they run inside. It's the most insulting thing I've ever seen. And it's also weird that they were just like super excited to see a guy with boobs, fake boobs. Like that's really fucking weird.
Yes, all of it's weird.
And honestly, Medea passes as a woman.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the running joke in this is like she looks like a guy. Like that's a running joke you'll see in this. Like, whoa, look at that guy, and it's Medea. And I'm like, Medea looks like a woman. Like there's no doubt in my mind that Medea is a woman in this. Like, that's not a thing. Like,
right.
She's big, but whatever. And then Tyga starts performing.
It's the most non-live sounding live performance of all time. It sounds more studio than the studio track does.
It does. It's insane. Like, there's like compression on it and shit. It's weird.
Sound like he's in a different room.
Yeah. And Medea interrupts the concert, demanding they bring out Tiffany. And then everyone at the party literally picks Medea up and throws her over a fucking porch, at which break a poor old woman's spine. That is one of the most tasteless things I've ever seen in a movie. It was insane. It was
picking anyone up and throwing them over the railing.
Like literally tossing a body. A living person.
Could you imagine doing that to anyone?
No. And they all do it to her. And they're screaming, throw her old ass. Oh, wait, no. Bam, her best friend, screams, throw her old ass out. And starts laughing. Tiffany's friends are pissed. And in another weird turn, like they're all pissed off. Like Tiffany has a bunch of friends and they're like, you have to leave because your grandma is a buzzkill and she's going to call the cops. So you need to get out of here.
Yes.
And they're like, you're ruining Joe's party. And she's like, I'll make it up to Joe. I was like, this is so fucking weird. Because in my head, I'm thinking they know she's 17.
Yeah.
Which, thank fucking God. I feel like it might have been a rewrite at the end. Like they're like, yeah, you can't have a 17-year-old doing that. Like, and then they just threw this in because it is thrown in where they're just like, wait, you're 17?
One of those kids is like, whoa. He runs to the wall.
Oh my God, it is so fucking weird. So they throw Madea out. Madea goes home. They try to figure out how to call the police.
Remember when Winger had like a #1 hit about banging a 17-year-old called 17?
Yeah.
The chorus telling you that?
Should probably not have been a radio.
What a time.
It was.
The 80s.
Or 2017 Madea movie.
At least they're like a lot of.
Well, that's true. That's
These
true.
guys are glorifying it. Yeah. Winger was.
Fuck Winger. Isn't Winger the shirt of the guy in
Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, the kid wears.
What
the loser wears.
Yeah.
That's awesome, actually. So they go home. Madea is trying to figure out a way to call the police because they all have criminal backgrounds. So they're all like, we can't call the police. Like, we'll get arrested. At the frat house, meanwhile, though, they figure out the girls are underage and they freak out. And they're like, you all have to leave. Except the two 18-year-olds are like, oh, you guys can stay. It's weird. And then they did call the cops. The cops go over. They break up the party. And these guys, these jocks, are so fucking mad. They're like, we're going to get those fucking old people. They say we are going to get our revenge on these old people for ruining our Halloween party. And I think that is the weirdest thing. And then the cops show up at Medea's for some reason. I don't know why. Looking for the girls.
Yes.
Yes, that is what it is. But then the girl's upstairs. And she snuck in somehow. She comes downstairs. She gives Madea a little attitude and then tries to convince them again about Mr. Wilson's ghost. And for some reason it works again. And they all freak out. I mean, at this point, you're an hour.
Well, like the electricity is going off and stuff while she's saying it.
Yes, because she has that switch.
Yes.
I mean, my biggest complaint in this is like there was just no real point. Like, why was it called Medea's Halloween? It was like kind of pointless for that whole thing. Like,
because it takes place on Halloween?
I guess, yeah. Because it's an hour in and like nothing's happened really. And again, at this point, I'm still expecting a monster to show up or something. But no. Bam goes upstairs. She starts seeing the water go on and off. We are going to start seeing some supernatural stuff right now. Water goes on and off by itself. And then the window steams up and a ghost writes on it, get your fat ass out of here. ... or die. So she runs away. Also, it was like the nicest handwriting of all time on the window. The little girl, Hattie, the little woman, Hattie, she's watching TV. It goes out of control. She starts hearing Mr. Wilson's voice, and it's obviously that Italian kid from the frat house. It's like, hey, it's Mr. Wilson. But it just turns her into a frenzy. They crash into Medea's room. And I was actually like, I had it in my notes. I was going to make fun of it because I was like, why is Madea laying in bed with a purse with all the lights on? I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, because they run in there and then it turns out like they start, because they're freaking out. Medea's like, it's fine. There's no ghost. And they're like, wait a minute. Like, why are you in here with the lights on? She's like, nothing. Like, you're wearing your good running shoes. She's like, oh, nothing. And she's like, you're holding your purse. So Madea was laying like that because she was just planning to run away. Like, she was just ready to run from a ghost. Which I thought was actually fucking funny as shit. They go downstairs. They confront Joe, who's laying on the couch because they think Joe's the one trying to trick them. They're like, quit playing games, Joe. Joe's like, I'm just playing with myself. He has a blanket over his crotch. So that's good. I love Joe so much. I think Joe is like,
Oh, he's great.
he's the funniest thing. I would hang out with Joe just to hear this.
Because in the next scene, a clown appears.
Oh my God, dude. So yeah, Madea, they all decide to walk around the house for some reason. Madea goes to the attic. She sees a clown. She freaks out. She also punches the clown in the face. Again, these guys would have the most broken noses of all time. She knocks the clown out. Then Madea falls down a flight of stairs all the way down. I just fell down the stairs.
You did.
I'm telling you right now,
that's fact.
This woman would be dead.
Yeah.
I thought I was dead. This woman fell down like 3 flights of stairs. She would 100% be dead. She falls down the stairs and she's like, I saw something. Bam and Maddie then see the clown behind her. They freak out. They run away, get in the car. They get a call from the Reverend saying, meet me at the church. There is a great bit in there, though, when the Reverend calls, because the Reverend, she's like, pray for me, Reverend. And the Reverend starts like preaching, and she's like, watch this. I'm going to get him to pray harder. And she goes, amen. And then you just hear the preacher on the phone be like, oh, yeah, Jesus. And he just fucking starts going off on this huge rant. And I thought that was so fun. That was so fucking great. All she said was amen. And he just went like nuts. Like he was just in the zone. But inside, Joe gets fucking high. Or still
Smoking out
getting
of a
high.
hookah.
And then the clown reappears on the stairs. And Joe has some like amazing lines here where he's just talking to this clown that he thinks doesn't exist. He's like he's so high and he just like looks up and there's a clown breathing heavily on the stairs. And he's just like, best get the hell out of here, clown. And at first I thought he thought the clown was real and was just talking to him like that, which I think kind of was. And then the clown gets closer. And he's like, huh. That's weird. And ultimately, he just
Next one with a cane.
cracks him on the, because the clown is just in his face. And he's like, huh. And then he just cracks him in the head with the cane. And he's like, I don't play this Halloween bullshit. Which is awesome. Madea and the crew head to the church. Their car breaks down. So far we know that the clowns are the kids.
Yes.
You can tell. So we eliminate that horror threat.
Yeah.
So there's no actual haunted clowns in Mr. Wilson's house. Now the car breaks down on their way to the church. And then we see a giant horde of zombies running.
And honestly, this looked cool. Like,
I liked it.
If it was actual zombies, it would have been awesome.
Yes, but it's not. And it's very obvious because you see the 2 kids that we saw doing the breakdancing parkour as zombies doing the parkour. Because I was like, come on, are you fucking kidding me right now? Hades starts to run away with Bam. Madea starts to run. The group chases him. Medea's just screaming, help me, Jesus, about 1,000 times. Maybe more than Boogedy has said in Mr. Boogedy.
Don't be ridiculous.
She makes it to the church, though, and she tries to light a cigarette in church. The woman's like, you can't smoke in here. She makes some joke about a burning bush. They tell her that she needs to be saved. So she does that. And then the Reverend comes out with her daughter and they explain that this is all a prank. The Reverend's daughter, Tiffany's friend, had overheard the frat, I guess, spell out their entire plan.
Most elaborate plan.
It was super elaborate plan.
Plan that so quickly too. Pull it off
so fast.
Phenomenal. Medea's reaction to that, funny.
It was so, she's like burping and like groaning and she's like, I can't curse in the church because she just wants to rip these kids apart and she's like, I gotta get out of this church. And then she's like, I'm just gonna go burn down their house. And the Reverend's like, but you were saved, like you don't have to do that. And they're like, the Reverend grabs her arm. She's like, Reverend, you better let go of me, you're gonna catch these holy hands. I love Madea, man. She's just fucking badass.
You're the biggest Madea fan I know.
I am pretty close now.
I don't know any other Madea fans.
That's true. I guess that's true. At the house, Joe has Horse tied up. The blonde guy from the frat, Horse.
When he says that his name is Horse, and Hattie's like, horse. And Joe's like, girl, you better not be talking about it.
So the guy's name is Horse. Because they're like, what's your name? He's like, Horse. And Hattie's like, oh, I want to ride me a little bit of the horse. And Hattie's disgusting. She's so gross. She's so horny. And like Joe's like, I don't think he calls her a bitch, but he's like, if you keep talking that shit, you ain't gonna get none of this donkey. That's his line. And it's so fucking vile. It's so fucking vile. Joe thinks he's like a smooth pimp that loves the ladies.
He is.
Well, I guess that's true in his head.
No.
Well, he offered Bam free sex, and Bam was like, you would have to pay me. Yeah. So they know the whole thing's a prank. They get home. I don't know if they even do anything with Horse. I don't think they even do, because Tiffany's dad gets back, and they're arguing about how to parent again.
Yeah.
They start questioning about Tiffany, about what happened, if she snuck out. She's like, so what if I did? I don't care. She runs upstairs. And honestly, maybe Madea and her friends were right. They probably should beat the shit out of this girl. She's being an asshole.
She is being a brat.
She's being a big brat. Medea's like, you should kick her out of the house. And then Joe's like, what's the worst that could happen to her? She a prostitute, gets pimped out for a few years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it probably is, Joe.
Yeah, that is 100% the worst thing that could happen to her. Madea decides she's going to take things into her own hands. She runs up there. She starts ripping. I actually like this scene. I thought if they left it like this, like this was like a typical 90s guy in a dress out movie where it's like
Big Mama's House?
Where it's like, I'm going to teach you the lesson. Like Medea's, the comedy in it, but you know what? I'm going to get serious right now. I'm going to take all your shit. I'm going to throw it outside and you're going to learn your lesson. I was like, I'm kind of on board with that, right? She was acting like a brat, but that is not what even close to what happens, which I thought would have been the fun, like more tender moment. And she's like, oh, I appreciate you, Madea, but that's not what happens. That's not what happens. They start doing that. And I do like this part because all the old people are like, all they're doing is taking her shit. And every time she's like, hey, you can't do that. They're like, They're like, try me right now. I dare you to try and like they're threatening her with violence and just stealing her shit. It's like so insane. It's amazing. Yeah, it's insane. And Tiffany lets loose on her dad because her dad's like, I'm not doing anything. And she's like, of course you don't. She's like, you just let people run all over you. That's why mom ran over you. That's why her boyfriend ran over you. And that's why you let me run over you. She's like, I don't let people run over me. And he's like, you let mom have an affair in your house. And I was like, what the fuck?
So cold.
I was like, that's so fucking weird. And the cuts to Madea and she's like, oh yeah, it's running over you, all right?
Like that he's like, well, no one's gonna run over me anymore. He's like, get out. And Madea's like, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Tyler Perry takes control, but then it's just like, listen, it literally makes no sense. Like literally makes no sense. Cause he starts explaining, he's like, the only reason we didn't tell you, which I don't think was her problem.
No. 100% wasn't, because she knew.
Yeah. He's like, the reason we didn't tell you was to protect you guys. And I was like, that's not the issue at hand. The issue is you're a pussy and you are still being a baby about this. Like you're still not taking charge. And he's like, do you promise you're going to listen to me from now on? And she's like, yeah. And again, totally emotionless. And this is where he's like, no more tears. The tears aren't going to work anymore. And she's not crying. She's like, okay. And he's like, say sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. He's like you mean it. And she's like, I'm sorry. And literally, her tone does not change at all. I'm not exaggerating that.
No.
And I thought it was really weird for the movie for him to be like, say it again. And it's the same exact way.
Okay, fine.
Like
Much better.
I mean, it's very realistic probably to how that would go if you said that to a kid who didn't give a shit. Like it's probably how it would go
But
down.
I think she's supposed to be giving a shit now.
Oh, that's what I think too, but it's really weird.
Right. No, I agree.
It's so fucking weird. And you think this is the end, but it is not. It is not at all. They hear a knock on the door. Madea freaks because she's like, that's a popo knock. I know a popo knock. The cops say the Reverend's daughter's been missing since last night. As the audience and Madea and Tyler, we all know that that's not the case because we've met the daughter.
Yes.
But it scares Tiffany.
Yes.
So they all go over to the frat house.
Scared.
Yeah, you can't tell by anything she does. Like literally, they find out her friend's dead, and she's like, "Oh,
it's insane."
It's insane. And then when she finds out her friend's alive, she's like, "Wow, that was You scared me. You shouldn't do that.
Got me feeling hoodwinked.
I was pretty bamboozled here. We cut to the frat house. The cops are also knocking on their door. One of the guys like randomly goes downstairs to hide like contraband and shit and finds the preacher's daughter with her throat slit in the basement. He freaks out. The cops come in. They find the daughter. They arrest everyone, bring them outside. And for some reason, Madea and her entire family are outside just talking shit.
This is what we told you.
We told you guys, and you never listened to us, did you? You didn't listen to anybody. I was like, what police officer? If you were there getting arrested, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Why are these
You just arrest them.
hooting and hollering? They clearly murdered that girl. If they're outside more concerned about like us getting arrested, they planted that body on us.
So they threw all the kids in the back of a paddy wagon.
It was like a legitimate
school
bus. It was a fucking bus. They throw her in the bus, and there's some good lines in there though, because it's like a scared straight type of moment.
Yeah,
where like they're on the bus with like real prisoners or whatever that they think they're real prisoners, and one guy's like, "You're gonna hug a man from the back." And the kid's like, Then the guy from Better Call Saul.
Yes.
He's also on the bus, the big like security guard. And he's like, nothing wrong with a good hug though. He's like, it's like soap's flying everywhere. It gets really romantic. It's very alarming. And then the girls, meanwhile, on the front of the bus in the women's section are dealing with their own crazy people on the bus who reveals her name's Wonka, which cracked me up for no reason. They're like, what's your name? She's like, Wonka. They're like, this is getting really bad. Big fight breaks out on the bus, and it's just violence, and the kids are in there, and you just see Madea outside laughing, and one of the cops is like, "Hey, how'd I do as a cop?" Medea's like, "Oh, good, you know," and then the girl laughs, you know. So it's all set up by Madea,
yes,
and Tyler Perry. Everyone in this scene is just the worst actor of all time, though. And we also find out all the people on the bus were from the hood, Medea's hood. Yeah. Except the cops are real, which Madea for some reason doesn't know. And then it's like, just looking around nervously. And the cop's like, "Hey, do I know you?" Medea's like, "Run!" And everyone just scatters. And that's the end of the movie.
Just them running from the
just
police.
running from the police. Madea, an old woman running from the police for various crimes that she commits. An elderly woman. I love this fucking movie. It wasn't what I expected. It's not a great Halloween movie, but I have high hopes for Madea 2 and hopefully Madea 3. I hope we can continue the tradition, the long tradition of Madea Halloween. I just love it, man.
Like I said, I don't, that's not the right word, but the fact that I didn't hate it was a pleasant surprise.
Honestly, less Tyler Perry. Just give me Madea and Joe and Hattie and Bam. I'm cool. I'm cool. I really don't need Tyler Perry giving me life lessons. Cut out the life lessons entirely.
Did you watch the outtakes?
Yes.
Did you hear that joke Joe told?
The dentist one?
Yes.
I knew that was the one you were talking about. And the joke is, my wife, it was...
Don't even repeat it.
You don't want to...
Just watch it. It's so crude. I mean,
it's only men over 70 would say this joke and think it's appropriate to tell anyone. Oh man, good movie. So that's it.
Yeah,
that's Madea for you. Boo, a Madea Halloween. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, do we want to pick out? Oh wait, we've already picked out our movies. So next week we are doing finally Alien Abduction Incident in Lake County. And did we decide on the second movie?
Nope. Probably.
Yeah, I think we might have skipped around and chosen one. So we're going to have to just start from the beginning. We got to choose Hellraiser, Reanimator, or Della Morte, Della More, which is a comedy.
I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Cemetery Man.
Yes. What do you think? I kind of want to go with, I don't know. If we do Hellraiser or Reanimator, people are going to hate us. So, but people, what?
I don't want to do Delamore.
No, I don't want to either. I think we should do Hellraiser. Okay. Hellraiser's really good though, isn't it?
I haven't seen it in years, but yes. Reanimator's so fun.
Reanimator's fun. Let's do Reanimator.
Okay.
All right. So alien abduction, two very different ends of the spectrum here. Alien abduction, incident at Lake County, and a Reanimator. It's from our friend Andy, who's from Germany. Like, we have fans in Germany, dude. That's
sweet.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. Really excited for the picks after that. Motorhome Massacre. Wishmaster. We've got some crazy
I want to
ones.
do Wishmaster.
You want to do Wishmaster?
Yeah.
It's coming up. But that person also has some other great ones, too. Dolly Dearest is coming up. Slugs.
Yes.
It's from our friend Stevie Webb. Stevie Webb might have a solid trifecta. Dolly Dearest, Cellar Dweller, and Slugs.
Nice.
All of those I would do.
Yeah.
Like in a heartbeat.
More so Slugs.
Also coming up, Deathbed.
Wait, did we watch Slugs?
Yeah, we did for Creature Features, but we didn't like talk about it in depth.
Oh, that's the one where they could have just poured salt on them.
Yeah, because they're slugs.
Yeah.
Also another one that's coming up, Deathbed, the bed that eats.
Fuck, yes.
I know. I'm so fucking excited. When she sent that to me, our friend Jesse Spearman, she sent that in, and I was like, honestly, thank you so much. That's been on one my watch list.
Yeah, for
forever.
years.
That and Death Nurse are like two of my movies that
I posted a picture of a notebook I had found from high school, and it had like my list.
Yes.
And Deathbed was on it.
Yeah, we got to do that. So I'm pretty excited about that. 976 Evil 2 is on there. I'm so fucking pumped.
The second one?
Yeah, no, I think that's the title. Oh, wait, is that 2? Is there a sequel? Oh, I thought it was Nice Evil 2 was like the phone number.
No.
Yeah, there's some good ones. So I'm pretty excited, pretty fucking excited. And we'll also have to work in the I Hate Hurricanes picks. Thank you all for doing that, by the way. $2,500
Damn, nice.
earned. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
So thank you all so much. I would have liked to have had a little more, not talking shit, but I just, I know that when we get together, we can do good shit. So, I mean, we started late. Like, we were like, I know people donated prior to, so I know we lost some of that and that because we started it late, but I was really proud of everyone.
That's fantastic.
So crazy. So thank you all for that. Store.IHateHorror.com. We don't have a ton of merchandise left, but go check that out. We're in Chicago, November 17th and 18th. Come say hi. Days of the Dead in Chicago. It's a convention out there. If you can help us, if you want to help us out, write a review on iTunes and then send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I will send you free stickers in the mail. That's it, right? Facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com. I'm on Twitter @IHateHorrorShow, Instagram and Snapchat @IHateHorror.
I'm at Jovi421, Boognish 1985, and Horror Show Joe.
That's it. Thank you all so much. Joe is back. I'm so happy.
Happy Halloween.
I'm so happy I discovered Medea. I'm going home to watch Medea Goes to Jail and enjoying myself.
She has cornrows in that.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, because when I looked up Medea's like that wiki page,
Yeah.
it was just her smoking cigarette in a jail cell with like big cornrows.
Oh my God.
It's like my favorite picture.
I'm so fucking excited. This is now the Medea podcast, the Medea show. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this Halloween episode. All right. Good night, everyone. Yeah, for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.